right, guys. This is podcast number 10 for Southern Release. I got Mr. Carter in the house tonight. And we're going to go over a couple things that are actually going on right now in North Carolina and deer hunting. We're going to cover the infamous, the dreaded, the October Lull.
I thought it was November Lull.
Is it November? No, November is the stuff, man.
That's
Everybody
right.
loves
That's
November, the
Yes.
November heat, bro.
That's it.
Yeah, no, it's the October lull.
Yeah.
Everybody hates October for some reason. It's a horrible month, man.
Yeah.
Nobody likes October.
All the deer start disappearing.
They do. Not only do they disappear, I think aliens pick them up. I don't know where they go.
Or your neighbors might kill them all.
Well, my neighbor's probably not happy with me.
Well,
I mean, it is what it is. Nevertheless, on social media, everywhere you look, in the deer community, in the hunting community, October is known as the worst month. I mean, you should pretty much, when October 1st rolls around to Halloween, go pick pumpkins out. Get some spiced mocha chocolate. Do whatever you got to do, but don't hunt because there's a lull. Is what I hear. Everywhere I turn, everywhere I look, everybody says, "Where did my deer go? Where'd they go?"
right. Yeah.
I don't know. Where'd they go? Where do you think they went? The aliens get them?
A few of them. I think a few of them.
A few of them picked them up.
Yeah, a few of them
Aliens?
picked them up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Other than that, I think they're changing their feeding pattern. I think
Are you going to dive right into the real talk?
right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. No. Yeah. No. You're good. You're good. No. So yeah, no. Actually, we got a little banter or whatever. But no. Seriously, Jason's right. They change. It's not a lull. In my opinion. Is there a lull?
No.
I don't think there's a lull.
I don't think there's a lull.
I don't think there's a lull. I think, like Jason said, I think they changed their patterns. Right.
Right.
Something changes.
Food, acorns.
Ooh, yeah. Well, what do you think?
Cool weather.
Ooh,
A lot of things. A lot of things change in October.
Right. And then especially in North Carolina. Look, man, it's been hot all year. And when it's all year, it's been hot all summer. And all summer for 3 months, these deer, 3-4 months, I guess probably 3 months. These deer keep to short pattern. They keep to short travel areas, right?
Right.
They eat, sleep, and drink. That's what they do. Every morning, every night. It's very, it is
routine.
Yeah, it's very routine. It's very, I'm trying to think of a word. It's not routine. You can figure it out. You can, nevertheless, I digress.
You lost me.
Yeah. So anyway, nevertheless, so you can figure them out. It's one of those things where they're going to do the same thing every day.
Right.
So it's and I guess that's probably our problem, right? Because we put out corn or we put out cameras. Me and you is kind of the different. We're kind of on a different spectrum because we feed you around.
Right.
But the average person, when do you think the average person gets in the woods?
I'm gonna say around August. I think
August.
Yeah, early August. It's just me.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say July. I'm gonna give them a little bit of credit. I think July. I think a lot of people. I think right after July 4th, I think that kicks it up. Everybody gets together. They like some fireworks with their friends, and they're like, "Hey man, what you got on camera?" And dude's like, "Man, I ain't got nothing on camera." People like me and you were the seeds. We plant those seeds. What you got on camera?
Yeah.
We start showing some velvet bucks, and they're like, "Hey man, goddamn, we'll check my stuff out, right?"
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I think July. You're probably right though. For most people, it's probably August. A lot of people start to get into either putting out some sort of food source like corn or planting food plots or just checking travel corridors, any of that stuff. I think that probably starts in August. And that's, for North Carolina, August is probably one of our hottest months, I would guess.
My goodness.
It's brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
It's brutal. So, so they start putting out cameras. They start checking cards, and the deer are doing the same thing every day. it's hot. They get up in the morning, they go eat, they go drink some water, and they go lay down. And that's about it. And then the season starts. Let's see. It's always the first Saturday in September, right? Second Saturday in September. Second Saturday in September? Okay. So, yeah, that's right. It threw me off because last year it was a second Saturday, but the day started the 1st of September was a Saturday, so it made it like September 8th.
Right.
But
after Labor Day,
yeah. If the day starts on like a Sunday, if the September 1st is a Sunday, it's a full 2 weeks. So by the time you get in the woods, you've only got a couple of weeks to really capitalize on that pattern.
Right.
And a lot of people are eager. They go get in the woods when they may or may not should. Some people are super successful. Some people are not. But nevertheless, everybody's eager. Opening day, they want to go get in the woods. And so, you know, they could push deer out. They could do whatever. But then October shows up and shuts the world down. It is what it is. You know, October shows up, shuts the world down. There is the October lull. And nobody likes the lull. But Jason's right. I don't think that it has to do anything with an actual lull. I don't think the deer are really going anywhere. I think they just change. I think their patterns change. I think they're breaking up. The bachelor groups are breaking up, and
showing their dominance. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that causes them to not run the same circles. None of them. Here's a little tip for you guys. The biggest asshole in the group is not always the biggest deer.
No.
Right?
Right.
I've got a buddy that's got video of a 5-pointer that will just ram another deer right in the daggone ribs. Not a big deer. He's just a complete butthole. It is what it is. But nevertheless, that dominance, he's willing to show that dominance, and that is running deer off. So they're changing their pattern. And they may not be on your corn. They may not be on your regular travel corridor. They could be 20 yards. They could be 200 yards one way or the other, and you're not getting them on camera. And so as a result, it's the October lull.
Right. So what can we do to
combat that?
Right.
What can we do to win?
Yeah. What would you do in that situation? What do you like to do?
I mean, you know, my go-to, I think our go-to is we like one. Well, there's a couple different things.
Right.
One, we are willing to move. We're not scared to move halfway through. You know, if we got to go set a new setup, if we got to go drop some new cameras, if we got to get creative, we're willing to do that. Two, you know, mid-October, beginning of October, hell, you know, we've got video of them making these in September, early September, first week in September.
Right.
Mock scrapes. I mean, truth be told, we've had a lot of success from mock scrapes.
A lot.
Yeah, both of us. And, you know, I don't think one product's better than the other. I can tell you what we use. I mean, everybody's had success from one product or another over the years. But in North Carolina, they're starting to venture away from deer urine.
Right.
It's their opinion that it could spread.
Like the liquid form?
Yeah. Actual deer urine. Yeah, they say that it can spread disease, and that is a topic for another day. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I don't know. But what I can tell you is how long would you say we've been using this? Maybe 5 years?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, probably right around 5.
5 or 6 years, yeah.
And this is Wind Pros. This is I think it may have changed names.
Scrape Fix?
Scrape Fix, yeah. I think it's Scrape Fix by Wind Pros or Wind
Right.
Pros by Scrape Fix. Nevertheless, it is a synthetic powder. And I've had a lot of success.
Yeah, I've been in the tree with you and seen
You've seen it work, yeah.
I've seen it work firsthand.
I've got camera proof of it. I've got deer mounted proof of it. And I literally, not even gonna lie, I can contribute those deer to that product this time of year. And that product, I think this one was like October 24th.
24th.
October 24th.
Yep.
That one, like November 1st, right at November 1st, I think. November 1st or November 2nd. Either way, neither one of them were during the actual rut. It was in the pre-rut. It was in that time where nobody really wanted to get in the woods, but I had started a couple of weeks prior by making a mock scrape. And so I don't know about you. So if I'm doing a mock scrape, I've got my own set of ideas that I do. So Jason, if you do a mock scrape, what do you do? What's your ideal area and what's your ideal location? What do you got?
Well, it all depends on what I'm looking for out of the mock scrape setup. If I'm looking to hunt over it, I want it, within at least 25 yards of my stand site.
Okay.
I want to have a clear visual of the scrape. And I think a lot of people get misconceived by how high you need to, how high the branches hanging over a scrape need
That's
to be.
That's a good point. Yeah, I agree.
I think, I'm 5'6", whatever. So the highest branch I can reach and pull it down and break it and put fix a mock scrape over that is what's been very beneficial to me. I've seen deer. We've seen deer.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten, I think, and that kind of comes from, I tell a lot of people, I learned a lot when I started filming, because I had to do a lot more watching and a lot less hunting. But through preseason, before the season even started, we've got video of deer standing on their back legs for, I'm not talking about like 5 seconds. I'm talking about like a minute, 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Making a scrape and tearing up limbs and going to stuff probably 7 foot off the ground.
This is why he's still in velvet.
Yeah. So, I think everybody kind of looks at it as in, I've got to get that. The average height, I think, people when they do this stuff is probably right around, what do you say, 4 foot, maybe 5.
I'm gonna say right around 5 foot.
Yeah, so maybe right around 5 foot, but that's the average. But what I would say is you could probably go as high as 7.
Yeah, absolutely.
These deer, they don't care. It doesn't bother them a bit. The next thing, like you were saying, 25 yards from your stand, if you're gonna hunt over it, you also need to be able to see it, right?
Right.
So if you're gonna do a mock scrape and you're gonna put this in, you need to make sure that you pick your location properly. So before you even do anything, I like to pick it from the stand. I like to get in the stand, figure out what limbs fit my area. Now I've hunted mine, and we've used these I've used them for, like Jason said, 5-6 years, and have a lot of success from them. So I've kind of got my areas figured out. If I get a new spot, I can spot it pretty well. But if I was new at it, or if I hadn't really put a lot of effort into it prior, I would think about it, and then I would go for something 6 to 7 foot off the ground, a limb 6 to 7 foot off the ground, within bow range, whatever you feel comfortable. Hey, if you want to stretch it out 60 yards, go for it. I would not, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't. Some people are a lot better archer than I am. In fact, a lot of people are a lot better archer than I am.
You and me both.
But yeah, I would try to pick something that is beneficial for your stand. Me personally, I like field edges. What about you? What do you like?
Yeah, I love field edges. I like pinch points, funnels.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, sometimes, your bait sites, if you've ever been around your corn pile and you see, you walk 40 yards past your corn pile and you notice a scrape, there's never a scrape right on top of the corn pile.
Right.
So
no.
they're always
No, and that's a good point. I wouldn't put something directly I wouldn't put like my food sources here, and I'm gonna try to put something just a couple foot
right.
over.
No, you need to. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I would try to stay 40 yards away, 30 to 40 yards away.
Maybe in a different direction too. Just what I'm saying. So you got you're shooting your corn in this area. Maybe if you're left-handed, off your left side or right side.
Yeah,
Stay to one side where you can see.
Location is key for sure.
Absolutely.
Make sure. And that's why I say pick it from your stand. If you're up in there, hey man, if it's the October Lull, there ain't nothing going on. Go out there, sit in the woods, and figure out what you're gonna do next. Right.
Right.
So that second week in October, which I've told everybody at the minimum, the October 14th, I'd have a mock scrape down. Not only would I have a mock scrape down, I'd have a camera on that scrape. And personally, I put it on video. That's me. I like to put it on video. You're not going to get a lot of videos. You're not going to get a lot of activity. It's going to be, but the information you can gather is going to be worth every bit of it. I mean, you can get to see where deer come in, how they leave, the whole nine. So,
and you'll even get pictures of does in there too, seeing what they're doing.
Absolutely. You get
not just your bucks.
No, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about the area. You learn a lot about travel times and stuff like that. And you could see a lot of different deer that you've never seen before. I've got one location. I've got a deer. I showed a picture of him the other day to Jason. I said, you like this deer? Would you shoot this deer? He said, absolutely, it's a good deer. I said, yeah. I said, the only drawback is he's going to have to be hunted late October or the rut. He's going to be a rut kill. Jason's like, why? I said, he don't eat corn. He ain't touched it in 2 years. I don't have the first picture of him eating a kernel of corn, but he comes by there and he checks everything. He comes by, he keeps up with everything that's going on. He don't eat. Some just don't. Then Jason has killed a many of big buck over top of corn. I've killed a many a big buck over top of corn, and there's some that just don't. So you've got these mock scrapes give you an opportunity to maybe pick up some deer that have been around this entire time that you didn't know about. Not every deer is on top of bait. Not every deer walks that same path. The older they get, the smarter they get.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that you learn something. You should learn something with them every year.
Absolutely.
Hopefully. Every year I think I know something. I learn I don't. So, So October Lull, it doesn't exist.
Nope.
Mock scrapes, they work for us, right?
That's right.
When should you do it? I'm saying second week, at a minimum, second week of October. I want to touch on that one a little bit. So, with the mock scrape, if you notice a scrape in your area, do you set up next to him? What do you do? Do you sit up next to him? If you've got a scrape in your area, what do you do?
If I've got a scrape in my area?
Yeah, if you've got a scrape already there, what do? You don't know what's there. Do you put a mock scrape next to it? What do you do?
No, I don't put a mock scrape next to it. I'll put a camera up on it and maybe freshen it up with the Wind Pros here. Scrape fix is what I do.
Yeah.
Just to kind of act like I'm another deer coming in his territory or whatever.
These are major communication areas, right?
You're right.
So they share a lot of scent from. Somebody the other day told me, I can't remember who it was. I'm trying to think. Somebody the other day said, I've got a deer coming in. I've got a scrape already there. What should I make a scrape? And I was like, no. I was like, come by, pick up my stuff, and then use it to freshen that deer scrape up and put a camera on it. Because if you do that, you just let that deer know somebody else is in the house.
Absolutely.
And these bucks don't like that. That's
Not
picking a fight. That's wearing red in an area you're supposed to wear blue. I mean, these jokers are ready to down. They're ready to fight. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, it's it's natural. They're in a dominant state. They want to be, especially like we said before, some are bigger buttholes than others. But anytime you get a deer making a scrape, he is marking that territory.
Right.
He is saying, this is mine. That's the purpose of it. And then they're using it for communication. So, whenever a new deer shows up, whenever this guy shows up, it's like, hold tight. Who are you? What are you doing here? Why? Who said you could come in my house?
Right.
I mean, that's how they look at it.
Yep. And it could cause him to get on his feet a little earlier.
It could. It absolutely could. This deer over here made a bad shot. It is what it is. Saw him year before he was checking the scrape, and the next year, I decided to put a scrape out, and I think I put it out mid to late October. I put a scrape out. It took a week. I think I put it out second week of October, but it took a week for the deer to show up. And the first picture was the deer smell. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday. The first picture was him smelling the scrape. The second picture was him head to toe bristled up. I knew at that point I had pissed this dude off. I was like, he's mad. Not only is he mad, but he marked it. The next picture after that was him marking it. This is before I started using video. Use video. If you have an opportunity when you make a mock scrape, put these cameras on video. They are all kind of built for that. You gain so much more. So put it on video. But I ended up with 3 pictures. The first one was him smelling it. The second one was him bristled up. Third one was him cleaning it out and marking it himself. And that let me know that I got his attention. And truth be told, that's all you need. And this is the time of year you just want to get their attention. They're not coming for food. They're not going to come for food. There are, like we said before, there's acorns, persimmons. There's plenty of opportunity for them to eat. They're not coming there for food, but they come for a fight.
Yeah, well,
they come for the ladies.
That's right. Yeah, checking their core area.
Yeah,
marking their territory.
Area.
Yeah,
and they're willing to fight over it. That's like this one right here. Jason called in with the first year, the year before I shot him. Jason called him in with the
doe estrus.
No, not this one. Daggers.
Oh, daggers.
Yeah, you called him in rattling.
Right. Yep.
But again, it was in that at late October phase, right? That was like that third week in October when he got called in with antlers.
Yeah. Rattled him in.
He was ready to fight.
Yep.
That's when they're really marking their area. They're really willing to fight for the does in their area.
And I don't know if you remember. Do you remember him making a scrape underneath us that night too?
Oh yeah. No, I remember. So this deer, the one in the middle, he's we hear they're fighting, and we're like, all right. So Jason stands up. Of course, at this time we're in climber, so we're not like right next to each other.
No, this is our first time even stepping foot in this area.
Yeah, we'd never hunted this area before. We decided to move this area. We were like, let's see what's going over there. So we moved there. We're in climbers, and Jason stands up. He rattles like hell. This deer right here didn't even miss a beat. He comes running up in there. The other deer that he was fighting comes running up in there too, like, hey, we ain't done. You know what I mean? He's like, we still want to fight. We ain't done. So they come running up in there. They start looking around. They can't find nothing. Of course, the Joker stands on the other side of a holly bush, which,
they had a scrape under it. Yeah.
Thank you. We were there because of the scrape. We went there because of the sign to begin with, but we upset him. He come in there, and I wasn't able to shoot him because he stood behind a holly bush, which it worked out for the best. Those are the stories you like to tell. You don't like to tell the stories that work out bad. But so he stood there, and while we were there, he made a full-blown scrape. I mean, he tore, and when I say he tore it up, I mean he ripped stuff everywhere. He made a mess. He really got into it. And, that's one of those things, like I said before, when you're filming, you get to see a lot of this stuff that you wouldn't normally get to see. You get to learn a lot more you wouldn't normally get to learn because, you're not so much reaction. You're trying to make sure you're like, oh, I need to wait for this, I need to wait for that. But you see a lot of this stuff. So we got to watch this deer make a scrape underneath us. We got to watch him react to the antlers. And then that's really that, along with watching the one over here, Pine State, watching him react to the scrape, really kind of let me know that October, man, that's the home run month.
Right.
I mean, it really is. That's your, now granted, late October is better than early October, but October is like, that's when you could see deer you've never seen before. That's when you can actually get reaction from deer.
Right. Vocalization.
Yeah.
Sound.
Yeah. That's, I mean, to me, October's the best month. Because let's be honest, that second week in November comes.
It's just chasing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hard rut. Rut is hard.
Yeah, it is extremely. How are you going to stop a deer that's behind a doe and estrus? You're not.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So
well, can't say it's not going to happen.
Well, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Sometimes it
the
does.
Chances,
right.
Yeah, the chances are low though.
Depends on how hot she is, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It gets tough. I mean, November gets really tough. October, it's one that I personally love October. And everybody, that's why I say I don't believe in it. I don't believe in October Lull. Everybody's like, it's October Lull. And I'm like, stay in the house. I'll hunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So we got our location. We got our why. We've got just about everything. But give me some of your experiences. What are some of your mock scrape experiences?
Well, one of my favorite ones was actually this deer right over your right shoulder here.
Okay.
I forget. I think it was October 24th.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. 2018.
Oh, give me the
or 19.
18.
2018. Yep. We had went up to the same place I had shot primetime up in the Oaks. Big old cutover up there. And I was just checking the wind. Well, I had the doe estrus scrape fix.
Yes.
It's the yellow one. And usually what I do is I'll use it as scent checker just in case a buck is downwind of me.
Right.
And instead of
great cover
smelling,
scent.
Instead of smelling me, he smells something curious, and somehow, and you can watch this video on Southern Release YouTube, or you can watch it on YouTube under Southern Release, and it's just amazing. I used it as wind checker, and it wasn't 5-10 minutes at max.
Yeah, it seemed like it all happened really fast. I mean, no doubt that deer walked up, got shot. We were taking pictures for the sun ever set, but the moon that was another myth though.
Yeah, blood moon. Beautiful.
Nobody wants to hunt a moon. A full moon, don't hunt full moons. You know what? If we went with all these myths, the full moon, October Lull, I don't even know why I'm telling you people this. It would make my success rate way through. Once I get everybody out in the full moon and during the October Lull, my success rate's going to go way down. You realize that, right?
Oh yeah.
the more information that gets out, but no, seriously.
No, we love to see people succeed.
No. That's at the end of the day. I think a lot of people in this industry pretend like
there's a bunch of jealousy going on in this. I think.
Oh yeah. There's and I personally, we surround ourselves with good people. They like to see us succeed. We like to see others succeed. And
yes.
And so but there is a lot of jealousy, and a lot of people, they pretend like it's like a secret you've never heard of. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what I mean. Truthfully, that's why we try to do the podcast. That's why we try. Now, again, this is not the gospel. Don't take everything that I say. I mean, you might go all October, make a mock scrape, not see nothing. I can't control your area. That being said, I can tell you what I've done and what has been successful for me, and if it helps you, well, then that's awesome. But again, we've had, and I will say, it's to a point where I have gotten to a point now where in years past, people would call me up, and they always call up like November. hey man, what's that stuff you use for the mock scrapes? And I'm
Right,
like,
yeah.
and I tell him, and I'm like, dude, you should have I put it out 2 weeks ago. It's gotten to the point where I've kind of picked up my game, and so I sent a little friendly reminder to two of my buddies the other day, and I was like, hey, here's a friendly reminder. Go ahead and purchase your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and actually, it doesn't go bad, so you really shouldn't have to purchase it. Unless you got a lot of properties and you use it. I mean, one of these could last 2 or 3 seasons. It's synthetic. It's not going to go bad. But nevertheless, I still sent them a message, and I was like, hey, make sure you pick this stuff up. Make sure you go ahead and order it now, because right now for us, this isn't readily available. I'm pretty sure if North Carolina passes a law, stuff like this will become extremely available.
I would think so. Absolutely. Yeah.
But right now we get it off of like Amazon or their actual website. Like I said, it's like $22 for the combo for this one and the dough and estrus or the rut. It'll say rut. But yeah, no, I mean it's one of those things that everybody on social media right now is like the October lull. October lull to me equals acorns hit the ground. Acorns hitting the ground means that they stop eating corn. They stop eating corn means they are not on camera. And the fact that they are not on camera means what? They disappeared.
Cool weather. There's a lot of factors that key into the October lull.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't think it's real.
No. And I think another thing is like everybody says, I don't have any deer. All my deer are nighttime. And I'm like, well, he's somewhere during the day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're browsers. I mean,
he's somewhere during the day. I mean, he ain't just laying down. The chances of a deer just laying down all day long and then getting up for all night. Now, I will say, like, if you shoot one and injure one, he may go nocturnal. He may lay down. But I don't know. I think for the most part, I think they just stop being on the pattern you're used to, and then you stop putting in the effort, maybe.
Right, yep.
Or you're scared to. If you got a big buck, I can't blame you, right? If you got a big buck, I can't blame you. I would be hesitant to do a lot of moving. Some of my properties, I don't have the opportunity to move. I just don't. It is what it is. So I've learned to hunt certain properties at certain times. I got one spot, the one that I killed the deer on this year. That's early season property all day. As soon as summer pattern breaks up, they disappear. They don't come back. I get stuck with the babies, and that's just what they do. And I know my property. And then the other property where this dude come from, that spot is horrible for summer. I don't know why. Got a lot of does in there, and I'll have a couple of them swing through. But then the rut hits that late October, that pre-rut, that late October, early November, and good deer start showing up. I don't know. I think you need to learn your areas, figure it out. Jason is kind of in a situation where he can bounce around from farm to farm and kind of hunt accordingly. And then, him, like a couple other of our friends, are in situations where they get to see, and even I used to be set up like this where I could watch deer travel. And this is the crazy part. You watch deer travel 3 miles, 2 miles through the woods. Same deer. Through the woods.
Yeah.
On a different property. And you're like, wait, what? How did you get over here? You imagine these animals stay in a 500 yard circle, right? They just get up every morning and they just...
all summer long.
Right. Well, and they do
right.
during the summer, but as soon as it starts to cool off, man, some of these mature deer, I read something one time, I don't know. I don't know this for sure. I read something one time that a mature deer can run a circle that equates to a 9-mile circle when it's all said and done.
I wouldn't, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, in North Carolina, I would say that may be shrunk a little bit, and it may not be shrunk. It just may be, I guess, targeted a little bit differently.
Right. Yeah.
Because of houses and stuff like that. We're a little bit more overpopulated. You get out to like Illinois or out Midwest, they're liable to be 10,000 acres with one house, right?
Right.
So you get around here, we don't have a lot of. You think North Carolina has anywhere that has 10,000 acres and one house?
I would probably say no.
I would say no. Somebody, hey, if you know
10,000
that,
acres.
that's a lot.
Maybe down east somewhere, green swamp somewhere.
I was
like
gonna
that.
say it would be swampland. It would
Yeah.
literally be swampland. I don't think it would be.
Bear country.
Yeah, I don't think it would be around here. But nevertheless, around here you're gonna end up with spots that deer are gonna run in corridors like creeks, rivers, low areas, and the reason why is because you can't build in low areas. There's no houses, and there's little human activity, and that gives them a safe area.
Yep.
And as a result, that's where deer are. So, that being said, that, if you can't find deer right now, late October, early November, I'd look for them low areas.
Don't be scared to, you necessarily don't have to move. I would suggest, you don't have to use scrape fix, but I would try a mock scrape. Go 200-300 yards from your stand if your deer aren't showing up.
Right.
And just try it. Just make
Give
you
it
a
a
scrape.
shot.
Yeah. Reach up in the tree limbs there and break you off some branches. Don't break them completely off. Leave them hanging. Deer are very visual animals. So, they see that scrape, smell the the mock scrape stuff, buck or rut, whatever, doe estrus, whatever
Dominant
we put in
buck.
it. Yeah. And then, they smell it up. We also spray it up in the branches.
Yeah.
And, just try that. Put a camera on it. Hey, if it doesn't work, first week, don't give up on it. Try it again, freshen it up. Try it again. And like I said, it's not like the camera's going to be over corn. So you're not going to get thousands
Yeah, put
and
it on
thousands of
video.
pictures.
Put it on video. Yeah.
And just maybe just learn from it. Yeah, I'm telling you, what do you got to lose? It ain't like you're sitting there hunting over it. And I'm not saying take a bag of corn with you down there either. I'm saying
no.
Just try a mock
just
scrape.
the mock scrape by itself.
Yeah.
Keep it singular.
Yeah.
And another thing is, when you put a mock scrape up and you put a camera up, you put it on video and stuff, make sure you go down there and freshen it up. Even if you don't have anything, you check it and there's like 2 videos and it's just some deer. So naturally, something that is natural that was created by another deer gets freshened up. These animals freshen these things up. I mean, every couple of days,
almost daily.
Yeah, I mean, you
Sometimes
wait a
when
week,
it gets-
you might be behind the times. So, and then one thing I like, I guess it would be the same thing with both, but with this stuff, you got to think, naturally, if it rains, it's a good thing. It freshens,
Right.
it brings
Well, it
all
brings
that
it
back
back,
out.
right.
So, we have a video. You can go check it out. But when I do it, I get my limb right, scrape it all out. Then I spray, or if you've got the liquid, I put it on the limb first and let it fall on the ground, and then put some more on the ground. I try to choose a stick in the woods. We've all seen the little deer hoof,
little plastic
deer hoof.
spade, deer hoof. Whatever.
I actually, when it first come out, and I saw people talking about it, I was like, that is a gimmick, man. But then the more you think about it, it's actually encouraging you to take it out of the woods, which I think people were messing up. So it's not that bad of an idea, really. People were going in, making it with a stick, and then throwing the stick on the ground. You're leaving your own scent next to a scent that is supposed to portray a deer. I don't like that. So even if I use a stick, and I do just use a stick, I take the stick with me. I just throw it in the bed of my truck, take it to my house, throw it in my own yard. It is what it is. I just try not to leave any detection that I was actually there. That's just me. But yeah, I mean, get out, give it a shot. I'd say now's the time. I mean, it's October 7th, so at the worst,
Absolutely.
I would go. So you've got, in my mind, basically, this will post tomorrow, so October 8th. So in my mind, you've got a week. You've got a week if you're gonna really get after them during the October lull, right, when there's no activity and the deer have all been taken by the aliens. You've got a week to figure out where you're gonna do a mock scrape. You've got a week to figure out to get your product. If you're gonna buy something or go to Walmart or wherever, Cabela's, Bass Pro, the local hunting store, your archery spot, it's, Done Outdoors, Spring Hill Outfitters, whatever, anything that's local, you're going to go there and you're going to say, I want a mock scrape. You want a dominant buck scent. That's what you want. I don't care what it is. It could be the stuff that we use. It could be a liquid. It could be whatever. You want a dominant buck scent, right? Take that dominant buck scent, take it to the woods, scrape out an area. Usually it's in a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but scrape out an area in the circle, knock all the leaves back, rough up the ground so it can absorb whatever you're trying to put there. Start on the branch. Figure your branch out. We said, 7 foot? You could go as high as 7.
I like high. That way, usually your bigger deer stand up on their back legs and they have all kinds of glands on their face and in between their horns. Yeah,
it's a sign. I mean, the bigger deer do. I mean, they're going to put forth more effort than your smaller bucks. So a little bit of work won't hurt. But yeah, so you put it up on the leaves first, let it fall into the area you're trying to make a mock scrape, stir it up, put a little bit more down on the bottom, stir it up again, take your stick, walk out, make sure you set a camera up, put it on video if possible, and leave. I would personally, when I'm tracking food, I maybe check it. Honestly, I check it like every 3-4 days. But you could check it once a week for food. I would definitely check a mock scrape every 3 to 4 days. Deer are going to mark this area up. Choose your times wisely. Make a pattern that you can get in there. Deer are going to check it first thing in the morning, last thing in the evening, and in the middle of the night. I would not go in there then. I'd go in the middle of the day. If at all possible, I'll go at the end of the day or in the middle of the day or as soon as you get off work, if at all possible. And then once you kind of get some feedback, get some video or some pictures and stuff, you can start to make a plan. You can start to figure out whether you want to move a set there, whether you want to use climbers, whether you want to sit on the ground if your county permits it. I know Eastern has got into black powder, right?
Yep.
Central is still in the bow, but there's a lot of crossbows and stuff, so you can use. So you're not limited, but just don't feel like you can't move. It's not a lull, people. It's not an October lull. This is just a pattern change, and it is our. I don't want to say laziness. I think in some cases it's laziness, but in a lot of cases it's just fear of messing up property. But if you do it calculated, if you're very
now don't go into a bedding area.
Well, yeah, too. That's you get into some really thick stuff. Don't go bumping deer out for no reason. I mean, try to use right now. So in my mind, right now on the edge of a field, if you can find a funnel, right, that is on the edge of the field and leading up to a oak ridge, you're in a honey hole. If you can find a spot on the edge of a field leading into an oak ridge to put a mock scrape, you have just located where your big deer is at. I'd stay out of any of the thick stuff. That's just me.
Absolutely. No, yeah. I mean, I would not. Yeah. You don't want to put a scrape. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen scrapes in bedding areas after the season's ended when I've walked it just trying to learn another property.
Right. Or shed hunting or stuff. You start seeing.
So you'll see things. But, yeah. So that's, basically, I love edges of fields, funnels, ridge tops, or just like little ridge shelves where it drops off the top of a ridge where they're just kind of circling a ridge or whatever and not visually looking up on top of a ridge. Deer do crazy things. Just because they're not on your camera right now on corn doesn't mean they're not there. I've seen it. I've seen these deer walk 60, 70 yards behind us.
Yeah.
And go directly away from corn.
Yeah.
This time of year. There's so much out there. Wild grapes, persimmons, acorns. And all other kind of forages that they eat. Clover, everything. Just because they're not on your camera, don't get discouraged. I think that's what discourages a lot of people here in October.
Oh, yeah. And to be honest with you, you really need to capitalize on this month because I'm telling you, once November hits, chasing's going to start. It's going to get harder. These last 2 weeks, look.
If you're a bow hunter.
To be honest with you, I don't care what you're hunting with. You know, black powder down east,
Right,
or
running.
or bow. But once you get, shooting a running deer with a gun is easier than with a bow. But I would not suggest shooting a running deer with a bow. I mean, there are some badass people out there, but nevertheless, once November, I don't care what you're using.
Right.
Once November hits, that first week in November, I tell everybody, November 8th, 8 o'clock, I got the email. I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? That's when the rut starts. And when it starts, may God be with you, because I'm telling you, blinders are on. They're not stopping. The chances of them stopping is slim to none. Everybody's got that, you know. That's when you see a lot of big deer killed in front of dogs. That's when you see a lot of people that have never seen a deer. That's when you hear these stories. I've never seen this deer before. That's when you hear these stories. I didn't even know what it was until I put hands on it. I mean, you know, that's when this stuff. That's when you hear the wild stuff. But when it gets into that late October, you get a lot of bucks that are just cruising areas that have never been there, that are just walking around. They're not in a hurry. They're checking out the scenery. They're looking to make a scrape. They're checking scrapes that are already there to see who put it there, who's responding to it.
Yep.
And, I mean, truth be told, the October lull, that is the month you need to capitalize. If I don't look, pay attention. Pay attention to social media and watch who kills deer in late October. Late October, early November. Now, it's not going to be in abundance, but watch what gets killed. They're not going to be small deer. I mean, now granted, the ones that are going to stick out in your mind, they're going to be good deer. They're going to be, and you know what? This is when the fights break out on social media. That was my deer. I ain't never seen one with a name on it, but you know, that's when it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's when it starts. That's when the fight starts. That's when it was like, that was my deer. And people start being like, oh, you were trespassing. No, he won't. He won't trespassing. That deer walked 3 miles. That deer was on somebody else's property. That deer is roaming. And they're not running. They're walking. They're cruising. They're checking out. It's perfect time to hunt them. So
I didn't hear the gunshot. So it must have been poached.
Yeah, right.
I like that one.
Yeah. There's a lot of myths to this stuff, man. I'm telling you, late October, you're gonna see people get mad. You're gonna see people, but I'm telling you, get out there. Be a reason somebody else gets mad. Be a reason somebody else gets mad. There's a lot of good deer roaming around. To me, it's perfect. I even asked the wife. I said, when is and this is 2020, so you know we're social distancing. I'm going to hook Candy up to a potato gun and just shoot it out. And the kids ain't allowed to come to my house. All I'm saying is, you know.
To a potato gun.
Yeah, just launch in there, boom, and it just, you know, shoots it out. You know, you send it out. Nevertheless, I asked the wife, I said, when's Halloween? I love deer hunting. I love being in a stand on Halloween. She was like, oh, it's Saturday. I was like, that sucks. Immediately, I was like, why couldn't it be like a Thursday? Because I know y'all ain't going to want to go out on a Thursday, and I can go hunt on Halloween, and then we can, you know, do Halloween the weekend before. Like, Wednesday's actually perfect. We could do the weekend before, then I can hunt Halloween and everything. I'm telling you, if I had 2 weeks to take off every year, 2 weeks, last week October, first week November. That's my personal opinion. Everybody wants to take second week and the second and third week of November.
Mine's the 1st of September.
Yeah, well, you like them early bucks.
That's right.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey,
I like them on their feeding pattern, their summer pattern. Then I get to look forward to helping others.
Yeah, so. No. There's no doubt about it. If you had to, overall.
But also, it's not like luck. I mean, I bust my tail.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what I want to, when you get into October, a lot of luck of deer just coming by you've never seen before.
Right.
I mean,
after people have been feeding too all of September, they kind of get down on their luck, and start thinking about
disappear,
things.
And they disappear.
That's what happens October, and now they're drained. They're mentally drained because they've put in all this work and corn and had that deer on camera, and now they say he's gone. Yeah. Well,
some people grab another gear, and some people just hit neutral and coast. They don't know what to do. I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna grab another gear person. You're grabbing another gear person. I think for the most part, I think you should put in the effort. Don't be scared to put in the effort. There's a lot of opportunity, man.
Yep.
I
Capitalize. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It is. It's October 7th. Like, literally, it's about to get good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's about to get good.
Oh, I know.
I actually, not gonna lie, I'd like to be tagged out before November. I don't think it'll happen.
I hope I can just tag out in general.
Actually, I will be honest with you. I don't think I've tagged out in 8 years. As far as bucks, I tag out on does every year.
Yeah.
I think I've missed like one in the last like eight or nine. But I don't think I've tagged. Even when it was 4, I didn't tag 2. I don't think I've ever killed more than one good buck a year. That's just my.
I just like to take one good one a year. That's all I shoot for.
There's nothing wrong for it. I mean, shoot everything. Hey, fill your tags.
Absolutely.
The way you feel, the way you want to. But
I love to shoot does. So I just shoot my one target buck, and that's what I
start
do.
wearing them doe out. We don't love them doe. Right?
That's right.
And look for that video. That's gonna be coming out soon. That's a good one. That got us kicked off TikTok. Thanks, TikTok.
Yeah, that was a fun hunt. That was a memorable hunt. Kind of got me back in the saddle from Kentucky. I kind of got a little bummed out in Kentucky, but that's another subject too.
Absolutely. So, all right, everybody, we've had a great time. We hope you enjoyed podcast number 10, the October Lull. We use Scrape Fix, and hey,
don't be afraid to try it.
Give it a shot. Hey, you know what? If you're gonna try it, send them an email. I'd love to get at least a discount. Tell them we sent you. By God, we could use all the help we can get.
Absolutely.
But all right, guys, make sure you check us out on Instagram at Southern_release_TV. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Southern Release. Check us out on Facebook, Southern Release. And remember, the algorithm is set up against hunters. They are set up against. We don't do the things that Facebook and Instagram. They're not our big. If we were just we post kill shots. They don't like that. So make sure you share our content. Throw it out there. Hopefully it helps somebody. If you've got any suggestions for podcasts coming up, if you've got any suggestions at all as far as topics or improvements that we can make sure you let us know. We are not sensitive. Just break it out. We'll take it with a grain of salt, and we appreciate it. So hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. And remember, it's all about the release.